morning and welcome to our annual State of the City Address and Awards Celebration. My name is Tim Sink. I'm president of the Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce. And lucky for you, I just have a very few announcements to make, and then I turn this over to the people that really matter this morning. So a couple things I want to mention. First of all, we can't do these programs without the support of Concord area businesses, and we are very pleased that Bar Harbor Wealth Management has come back again as this morning's sponsor. They are represented this morning by Maureen Kimball and Jason Edgar. Just a round of applause and a thanks to Bar Harbor Wealth Management. Also, I'll let you know that Leadership Greater Concord is accepting applications for next year's program that kicks off in September. The application deadline is May the 30th. You can go online at concord.chamber.com or give us a call at the chamber. We'd be glad to provide you with information on how to apply. It is not a painful process. Great program, been running for more than 30 years, so please consider that program. Also, we're planning a trip to Portugal in September of this year, and we are hosting an orientation of that trip at the Chamber on May the 12th. If you're interested, please let us know, and we will reserve a spot for you for that orientation program, just to let you know what that trip is all about. Our next business after hours is at the Barn at Bull Meadow on May the 13th at 5:30 p.m. And our next forum, which we're just kind of putting together now, is coming up on May 29th. And the subject matter is tariffs, DOGE, and executive orders and what those impacts are. So kind of an interesting panel to talk about those issues. I'm just very grateful that I have a very supportive board of directors, many of whom are here. I just mentioned our board chair, Larry Haynes, Gary Miller, Matthew Hicks, Jim DeRemus, Mr. Campbell, Kathy LeClaire, Ari Pollack, Steve Dupree, and Jim Boulay, and Thomas Aspell, one of our speakers, are all here, board members. Thank you, bosses, for being here. And we're also pleased that we have several local elected officials with us. Obviously, Mayor Byron Champlin, who's one of our speakers, but also City Councilors Jennifer Kredovic, Judith Kurtz, and Michelle Horn. So thank you, City Councilors. Oh, Stephanie, I'm so sorry. Stephanie Brown is here with us this morning. I didn't see you on the legislation form, my bad. But thank you all for being here this morning. So at this point, I would like to invite my boss, Larry Haynes, president of Grupponi Automotive Group, to perform a very pleasant duty this morning.
Well, good morning. Certainly thank you all for being here today. Another beautiful morning in our great city of Concord. The Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce is honored to recognize two exemplary individuals whose unwavering dedication and outstanding contributions have significantly impacted our community. Today, we come together to celebrate the remarkable achievements of our Concord Police Officer and Concord Firefighter of the Year. These individuals represent the epitome of selflessness, professionalism, and commitment to service. Their tireless efforts and steadfast dedication not only uphold the highest standards of their respective professions, but inspire all of us to strive for excellence in everything we do. Join us as we shine a spotlight on these deserving recipients and express our heartfelt gratitude for their extraordinary contributions to the safety and well-being of our city. So, for our Police Officer of the Year, I'm honored to represent Detective Paul V. Shaughnessy. Let's give him a round of applause. Detective Shaughnessy joined the department in 2014 and graduated from the New Hampshire Police Academy in 2015. He holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from St. Anselm College. He is known for his strong work ethic, ongoing commitment to learning and professionalism. Detective Shaughnessy is deeply respected by both peers and supervisors. He was promoted to the Criminal Investigations Unit in 2018, and he has received extensive training in interview and interrogation, forensic interviewing of children, gangs in America, the Colonel Henry Williams Homicide Seminar, and he has served as lead or co-lead investigator in 8 homicide cases, including a cold case from the late 1960s. Paul is also active outside of investigative work as a member of the Central New Hampshire Special Operations Unit and a liaison to the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force. Notable commendations include multiple letters of commendation and commendation bars between 2017 and 2023 for successfully de-escalating a life-threatening situation involving a suicidal individual, disrupting a fraud operation while off duty, safely resolving an armed standoff in a bunker, solving and securing convictions in violent assaults, homicides, and child abuse cases, locating a missing elderly woman after 9 days, saving her life. His service has brought positive acclaim to the Concord Police Department, and he continues to serve with exceptional dedication and compassion. In addition to the CPD award, Detective Shaughnessy has also been named the American Legion Department of New Hampshire Law Enforcement Officer of the Year, which will be presented this May. Please join me in congratulating Detective Paul Shaughnessy, a public servant who embodies integrity, leadership, and commitment to the safety and well-being of our community in our 2025 Police Officer of the Year. Detective Shaughnessy, please come up.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for awarding me the Police Officer of the Year. I work with great men and women every day. It could easily be any one of them, so I'm truly honored to be up here speaking before you today. I want to say thank you to my beautiful wife, Christina, my son, Cole, my mom, my dad, my mother-in-law, Patricia, all the Concord Police Command staff. It truly is an honor to be here today, and thank you very much for the selection. So, thank you.
And now for our Firefighter of the Year, Fire Marshal Paul J. Sirois. Let's give him a round of applause. Fire Marshal Sirois began his career with the Concord Fire Department on March 17, 2003. He was hired as part of the staffing increase for Engine Company 1. He was promoted to lieutenant on June 6, 2013, and to acting fire marshal on March 6, 2016, and to fire marshal in December of 2016. He is known for his continuously improving his skills to better serve the citizens of Concord. Some of his many accomplishments include: he's maintained critical infrastructure for emergency response, providing emergency vehicle access, road safety, and structural integrity of bridges and rural drainage systems, ensuring that our fire apparatus can reach their destinations swiftly and safely. He has delivered timely and high-quality plan reviews, permit inspections, public safety reports. He has overcome reduced staffing challenges, which has kept the Fire Prevention Bureau operating efficiently. He has sacrificed personal time to meet the needs of the department. In 2024, he completed a high volume of inspections, including permit reviews, place of assembly and school inspections, demonstrating his meticulous approach and thoroughness. He's led and participated in community outreach, including the Fire Prevention Week, National Night Out, and promoted collaboration between fire stations, schools, and the Concord Police Department. He has contributed to grant acquisitions, the onboarding of 2 new assistant fire marshals, and the all-important mentorship of interns from St. Anselm College. In terms of character and impact, Fire Marshal Sirois demonstrates resilience, positive attitude, and dedication. He is considered a cornerstone of the Concord Fire Department. He was also honored with the 2025 Firefighter of the Year Award for exceptional service to the department and the city of Concord. Please join me in congratulating Fire Marshal Paul Sirois, a dedicated leader who exemplifies service, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of our community, and who is our 2025 Firefighter of the Year.
I want to say thank you to everybody for the support and giving me the ability to serve the community for the last 22 years. Hopefully I can continue making it safer for everyone. Thank you.
And now to introduce our 2 guest speakers today. Not that they really need an introduction, but certainly we're privileged and honored to have Mayor Byron O. Champlin, the mayor of Concord, New Hampshire, elected in November 2023 after 1 term as city councilor at large and 3 terms representing Ward 4. Champlin spent 27 years in marketing and communications, community relations, and corporate philanthropy with Lincoln Financial Group before retiring in 2018. Champlin is an alternate to the planning board and formerly chaired the ad hoc gas holder and fee schedules review committee, as well as the steering committee on Concord's plan to end homelessness. Prior to becoming mayor, Champlin was the director of Catch Neighborhood Housing, the Capital Center for the Arts, the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance, and the Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce. He has served on the New England Foundation for the Arts and Associated Grant Makers Boards and was chairman to the Chamber's Creative Concord Committee for more than a decade. Champlin was the Concord Chamber's 2009 Business Leader of the Year and received the Samuel Adams Excellence in Community Leadership Award from NAMI, New Hampshire in 2010. The Above and Beyond Award from the Business and Industry Association of New Hampshire in 2011, and was one of New Hampshire Humanities 40 over 40. A graduate of the University of Rhode Island, Champlin holds an MS in journalism from Boston University. He graduated from Leadership New Hampshire in 1999 and is an Eagle Scout. Mayor Champlin will be joined today by Tom Aspell, our city manager. Tom was born in Lowell, Massachusetts, and grew up in the greater Lowell area. He received a bachelor's degree in government and a master's degree in public administration, both from Suffolk University, and a certificate in state and local government from the Kennedy School at Harvard University. Following college, he worked in Londonderry, New Hampshire, as the Director of Planning and Economic Development, Director of Public Works, and assistant to the town administrator. In Haverhill, Massachusetts, he worked as the Director of Planning and Economic Development and Grants Coordinator. Tom was recruited to join the city of Concord in 1998 and served as the city's first Director of Community Development. In 2001, he was appointed Assistant City Manager, and since 2005 has served as our City Manager. Please join me in welcoming both Byron and Tom. Thank you very much.
Makes me realize I need to shorten my resume. Excuse me. I was nervous about coming here today until yesterday afternoon I had to read and answer questions with my grandson's 5th grade class. And that was the toughest audience I think I've ever had. So you guys are a piece of cake, and I appreciate that. I do want to mention, before I get started, because if I don't, Rick Yeames will be all over me, that we are ramping up to our 250th anniversary as a nation, and also our 300th anniversary as a city in 2026. And there is a charrette being held on Thursday, May 8th, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. at the citywide community center. So if you're interested in participating in that great celebration in 2026, and Rick reminds me, we're only 436 days away from it, please be at the community center for that charrette. So, what's the state of the city? Well, clearly, housing is still an issue in Concord and in New Hampshire in general, and we are taking it very, very seriously. As of October 2024, there were 2,352 housing units in development in the city of Concord. Of that total, 584 units were completed by the end of 2024. 783 units have been approved by the planning board and are awaiting construction, and 985 units are currently in the development permitting process. With 2,352 units in development, the City of Concord has satisfied housing development targets with based on the 2023 Central New Hampshire Regional Housing Commission's Regional Needs Assessment through 2030. In other words, we've satisfied those goals through the year 2030, which suggests the development, and that suggested the development of 2,223 units. This excludes units that are in pre-development and which have not applied for city planning or zoning permits. We're very, very proud that last year Concord was one of 18 communities in the state, and that's one of 18 out of 234 municipalities, to be acknowledged and recognized as a housing champion. What did we do to earn that recognition? This recognition was based on our compliance with the state's workforce housing law, with the current zoning. 95% of our city's total land area permits housing, and that's 60.2 square miles out of 64 square miles. The city's adoption of innovative land use regulations, our ordinance that permit manufactured and mixed-use development, routine investments that we make in public infrastructure to support housing, adoption of complete streets policy and our promotion of walkable neighborhoods, and the intermunicipal agreements we have which encourage housing development. We're very proud of that. One of the keystone projects that have been completed and now is renting is the Isabella Apartments that you know is on South Main Street. This is the site of the former Department of Employment Security building, which you can see down in the lower right-hand corner. That now is 64 units of market rate housing. I believe all of them are rented right now. I'm getting the nod that they are. And this is an example of the public-private partnerships that we often engage in for major development. The city sold this property to the Flatley companies which developed it. We provided underground utilities as part of the 2017 Main Street project. We facilitated the mitigation of interior asbestos. This was truly a partnership that now is reaping benefits for the city of Concord. I think everybody's familiar with this structure. This is the old North Congregational Church on North Main Street. This project is being developed currently by John Chorlin and Ben Kelly. The city participated in this project by the City Council approving RSA 79E incentives. If you're not familiar with RSA 79E, that allows the city to freeze the assessed value of a property at its current rate rather than at its renovated rate for a period of years. This can act as a bridge in funding for a major project, which is the case here. The current assessed value of this property is $1.2 million. At the end of the 7 years during which the assessment is frozen, we anticipate the assessed value will be $2.9 million. This contributed approximately $393,000 to the funding stack for the project, making it possible for the developer. And it also had 3 other ancillary impacts. First of all, it preserved historic property in the city. Second of all, it created 30 new units of market rate housing. And finally, it brought into the tax base a property that had formerly been tax exempt when it was a church. I think most people are also familiar with this piece of property. This is 3 North State Street. This is the former headquarters at one time of the Concord Monitor. This is currently being redeveloped into 12 units of special needs housing by GSIG LLC. This is an important project because it's providing much needed housing for a very specific part of our community. And the city has supported this with a $35,000 Invest New Hampshire grant to support renovations, interior renovations of the building. If you drive down Loudon Road or down I-93, you're familiar with this structure. Brady Sullivan is continuing its efforts to redevelop this former New Hampshire Department of Transportation facility at 11 Stickney Avenue. The project will feature 80 market rate units, and construction on that is well underway, as you know if you've been driving by. The same developer who completed the Abbott Village project on North State Street, North Main Street, near Swenson Granite, is now working on the Tanager Circle townhomes at 150 Fisherville Road. This will add 68 units. These are condominium units, market rate. This project is estimated to be completed either between 2025 and 2027. Right across the street from the Tanager project is 153 to 169 Fisherville Road. This will be Fisherville Road townhomes. This is being developed by New Hampshire Sustainable Communities. This will add 83 units, market rate condominiums. This too is a phased project estimated to be completed in 2027, 2028. And if you've been by that site, you'll know that the ground has been broken and construction is underway. Also, we have a 13-lot subdivision at Shelburne Lane. This is near 153 Hoyt Road. This also is currently under construction. Rail Yard Apartments, this is in the south end by the old rail yards. Dakota Partners has completed phase 1. Those units are currently under rental of market rate housing. I believe that was 98 units. This phase 2 is proposed or projected to have 96 units of market rate housing, rather affordable housing, I apologize. It's uncertain right now who will be handling the phase 2, whether it will be Dakota, or whether Dakota will be passing that off to another company. But we're looking forward to that, adding that much needed affordable housing stock to the city. Village Street at Capitol Crossing. This is currently not under construction. This will potentially be 144 units of market rate senior housing. This is a 16-acre site at Old Loudon Road. The developer has just received a 2-year extension of approval from the planning board. And it's uncertain when this construction will start. However, it will benefit from the city's $25 million investment in the Heights Sewer Project. This is another project, ZB Properties at 5 Thomas Street. This is a 9-unit project. It essentially creates 6 net new housing units. These are rental units at market rate, and the start date is projected to be this year. Here again, this is 15 Hot Hole Pond Road, and we're looking at detached single-family condominiums. So housing is a regional issue. There's no doubt about that. Concord does not stand alone on this issue. This is a schematic which shows a report on income-restricted housing as of 2020. This was created by the New Hampshire Regional Planning Housing Assessment. This is a New Hampshire Regional Planning Housing Assessment. This is for the central New Hampshire region, which comprises 20 municipalities, including Concord. Concord's population in 2020, when these statistics were generated, was 44,000, or about 36% of the regional population of 120,510 in this region. Nonetheless, in 2020, Concord had 58% of the income-restricted or affordable housing units in the central New Hampshire region. So we had 36% of the population and 58% of the affordable housing. 8 municipalities within the 20 municipality region provide no affordable housing, none. And that's about 40% of the communities. So Concord is doing its fair share. Since 2020, when those statistics were developed, 505 units of affordable housing have been built or planned in Concord. Of that number, 373 have already been built, and you saw the rail yard development is part of that. The city has had a direct involvement in many of them. We partner with organizations to create affordable housing, either by selling land, by securing grants, or by providing financing through our revolving loan fund program. We also work with organizations creating units that are bringing people out of homelessness. The Concord Coalition to End Homelessness project at 120 Pleasant Street, for example, features 6 units of transitional housing for persons exiting homelessness. And the coalition is also working to develop an additional 6 units of transitional housing at 6 South State Street. And on that project, the city supported it with a $500,000 community development block grant and other assistance. That project is anticipated to be completed by early 2026. So before I pass things off to Tom, I wanted to go off script, with your permission, go off script for a minute and address a trend that I find deeply troubling in our community, and that is the recent erosion of civil public discourse and trust in our community. I'm honored to be your mayor because I believe in Concord, and I believe in what we have done together, what we are doing, and what we can do in the future. The beauty and power of our city government is that it is nonpartisan. Its members are focused on the good of the city rather than partisan talking points. While there is growing polarization and distrust of government at the national and state levels, we do not need to go down that path in Concord. And I will do everything in my power to see that we don't. Invective, conspiracy theories, and reducing people to stereotypes is a cancer that cannot be allowed to metastasize. So I call on you in this room and outside in the broader community to work with me to raise the level of public discourse, push back against unfounded allegations, elevate the good things that we do in Concord every day. Two opportunities to work together are on the horizon. The first, as I mentioned previously, is the ramp up to celebrating our nation's 250th birthday and our city's 300th anniversary in 2026. The other is the start of work on the city's master plan, which will begin early next year and continue into 2028. This is an opportunity to work together to map out our city's course for future generations, for our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. So let's set aside vitriol and instead empower what Lincoln called the better angels of our nature. Let's agree to disagree, but with mutual respect, and with a focus on what we are for, not just what we are against. Thanks. Tom?
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for being here and showing up. I know it's early for some folks, but in particular, I'd like to congratulate Police Officer of the Year and Firefighter of the Year. They are fabulous people if you get to know them personally, and have done tremendous work for the community. So it's a really good choices that were made, easy choices. So. What I'd like to do is build on what Mayor Champlin had talked about, and he really covered a lot of the, not all, but a lot of the major housing projects that are going on in the city. And those are choices that a community makes of whether or not something like that and those types of projects, that many projects happen in your community or they don't. A lot of, and as he's alluded to, kind of directly, a lot of communities have chosen they're not interested in increasing the housing stock. And if they are increasing the housing stock, it's in a certain way that's not available to everybody. So from the manager's standpoint, being able to attract good firefighters, good police officers, we need to address this because there needs to be places for people to live who can afford to live here. And it's difficult in the Concord community, in the greater Concord region, for that to occur. So that's why there's so much focus on the housing piece the mayor talked about. So what I'd like to talk about a little bit is the things that we have to do to make sure that we can support that. So this is, again, he and the mayor had also talked about public-private partnerships. This is a comprehensive development plan has been approved for this project in 2024. This is over on Black Hill Road by exit 13, ROI property. Zoning amendments permitted residential uses in the Gateway Performance District. This is along the Merrimack River. We're awaiting FEMA approval for floodplain mapping and amendments, a conditional letter for a map division area south of Black Hill Road. So we're working essentially with the federal government to make this project work with the developer. St. Mary's Bank is under construction at 16 Manchester Street. There'll be a common man convenience store, gas station, car wash scheduled for 2025. But I think you can see in the back, so that would be towards me, there's a large amount of residential housing also involved there. This is the Steeplegate Mall. You know, it's interesting, when I got here many years ago, the Steeplegate Mall was 40% vacant and going the wrong way. And then there was a turn in the economy and it filled right up and additions were put on. And now it's back to a derelict site, essentially. We have a new developer who the city council is working with for this proposed 1 million square foot project. There'll be 600 potential housing units, which you could see would be up towards the top right hand of the screen. The city is supporting this project with a $25 million sewer pump station and related sewer main improvements. If you can go back many years, the city invested all of the improvements on Loudon Road to get up towards this area for all the growth that is occurring up there. That growth has now taken up most of the capacity, if not all the capacity, of the pump stations for sewer and also working towards water. We need to make improvements if we're going to continue to have additional growth occur up there. That's why we're doing these improvements. It's If we don't, which some communities have decided they're not going to do this, then you're going to have to say no. You're going to say no more housing, no more commercial development, because we don't have the capacity to handle those at the pump station or in the pipes. And as you know, this project is currently delayed from the JCPenney lawsuits that are going on now. So we're committed to continue to work with the developer on that. I referenced the Heights Sewer Improvements Project. This is a $1.9 million was approved for the design and replacement of the sewer pump station and piping improvements to address sanitary sewer for the Heights. This year's budget appropriated $16.9 million for the sewer main and $6.25 million for sewer pump station. And the idea is, obviously, if we can make those investments, again, you're making investments for the future so that this growth can continue, and then those folks will pay, obviously, taxes and additional dollars into the system to help offset those costs. The state has just awarded last week the city $859,689 from the New Hampshire Housing Champions Program. So back to all the additional residential growth that has gone into the community, the state has recognized that because we are a housing champion and awarded us a grant which we will use to offset some of the costs for the pump station. We'll talk a little bit about the city's values and sustainability. At the Hall Street wastewater treatment plant, this here is, I'll get to this in a minute, this here is the Old Turnpike Road landfill, capped landfill. Way down on Hall Street, the city has a new 60 kilowatt behind the meter solar array that was installed to help offset our major power user in the city is the sewer plant. That was all completely offset by a grant that we received from the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. The system went live in 2025. You can go on the city's website and look at the virtual operations of that and just in time information that's available. In October 2024, we launched the Community Power Aggregate Program, the Community Power Coalition of New Hampshire, and approximately 67% of the electricity customers in Concord are currently participating in that program. Last year, through an RFP process, the city selected Kearsarge Energy to develop a new 5 megawatt solar facility at the Old Turnpike Road landfill. I'm going to point this direction because I'm an ambi-turner type of thing. This initiative will be before the planning board in May. The permitting process should be complete by June, and the construction will begin in the summer. The project will go live in 2026, and the city of Concord and the Concord School District will benefit in net metering revenues associated therewith. The city has recently invited to join the New England Municipal Sustainability Network, which is a consortium for sustainability. The governments work together to try to do projects that are related and share information. Yes, and that is the developer we're working with will be using sheep. So Tim, you're looking for a job. We're gonna need a shepherd, a sheep to actually be maintaining that. So you can see right now we have to mow that site. So now we're gonna have Tim and the sheep hopefully take over that, save us some dollars there. This is Pennacook Landing Phase 2 over on Canal Street. We're up in Pennacook now. And you can see the two projects that the city did. This was a Herculean 25-year effort that we're almost finished with. This was a brainchild of the city council and Matt Walsh, who's probably here. Sorry, I know he's here somewhere. He checked with me when he came in. And have been working on this for many years. And Beth Fenstermacher is working on the park, which is in the middle of the site. That park is 1.5 acres, substantially completed in December, and we'll be doing an opening this summer when it's 100% complete. And if you look at, that is a view from the landing over on the Kentucky River. And again, why are we doing this? Well, if you go back, that residential development that you see in those two squares on the bottom of those apartment buildings, we wanted to make sure the folks who were living in that area had access to green space in a park that they could actually use, and instead of a what was formerly a contaminated site. So now they're going to have a park available to them. So it's not just about bringing residential development to the community. It's can you bring the amenities that go along with that so that when people move here and they live here, that they actually enjoy being here. And I covered that. And then we're going to shoot across the street to Village Street over to the other side. And I just wanted, this is just to bring you up to date, little project you might not be aware of. This is Petticoat Riverside Park. And earlier this month, the city held a public input session, renovations existing Riverside Park. Members of the public involved in 3 design alternatives. I just want to show you kind of how we approach projects. Based on input, design team is working on concept plans to be used for grant applications. So this is one concept for, again, a Riverside Park. There's concept 2, working with the community. Proposed amenities include reconstruction of the Tanner Street Municipal Lot, ADA accessible pathways, improved lighting, improved pedestrian connections to Village Street, drainage, shoreline improvements, accessible river overlooks, new seating, and potentially new play and event space amenities. And the third concept is there. You can see parking is just crazy. There's trying to figure out how to work that into the site. Conceptual plans will be completed this summer. No construction date's been set per funding. So this is how we go about coming up with the ideas for projects, working with the community, and then going out and trying to actually bring in other outside dollars to actually activate these projects. So that's just a perfect example of trying to continue to provide recreational services to folks in the area. Staying in Petticoat, this is the old Petticoat Community Center over by Dolphin Street, and you can see not much to talk about there. That's what was there, and that's what's there now. So we did a public-private partnership with Boys and Girls Club. And in the building to the right, the greenish-colored building, is the new Petticoat Library. It was opened in December of 2024 with a budget of $1.3 million. The cost was about $1.1 million, and we now using that as not only a library, but also an activity center for that area of the community. We will take the old police substation. Right now, that's available for redevelopment. We're doing soft marketing on this property now, and if unsuccessful, then we'll actually list it with a broker. So put that back into use. It'll make great new residential use, I think. Now the public-private partnership, this is exit 17. That's a $5.5 million double roundabout improvements that were made by the city, which made all of this development possible. And of course, Interchange Development, LLC, has been tremendous to work with in terms of bringing tenants to the site. The city supported the rezoning of a portion of the property per the existing master plan into the Gateway Performance District, and has created $16.75 million in new assessed value at Whitney Road to date. And again, that's Interchange Development folks just working really hard to make sure that they fully develop that site. This is just a basic plan about what's up there now with the market basket. And I'll just quickly go through Starbucks, 2,400 square feet is there. Concord Hospital in Chipotle. The Chipotle is 3,000 square feet. The Concord Hospital Urgent Care Unit is under construction. And there's an additional 23,000 square foot retail building that's been approved. Developers seeking tenants. So why do I talk about these things? These are the types of things that will bring in the additional revenue, the jobs, that are then going to help support all the additional housing that's coming in. Via Trattoria in a Verizon store. If you look at this overall, the tax increment financing district, this is again on the same site. The overall tax increment financing district in fiscal year 25 is $25.9 million in new assessed value. And the city, again, is releasing dollars, 15% of the captured assessed value to the Merrimack Valley School District to help support the school system. Running downtown, I know I'm going fast, but I know we want to get to questions if you can. 20 South Main Street, Steve Dupree was here earlier, said hello, and then had to go to meeting over, where was he? Audubon Society. So I had to put something in because we thought Steve was going to be here. So this is the 3 restaurants here plus event space, and this is currently under construction, as you can see. And this again, public-private partnership, relocating the overhead utilities in the alley to help make this happen. This is update. Some of you may have not seen the design plan for the new parking garage that's going out right across from the police department, the existing police department headquarters. 409 spaces, $50,000 a space. That's what garages go for now, at least this version. It's completed for, schedule is late spring of 2026 completion, and the city will then repave all the streets around that. This is the old parking garage, 205 spaces. In 1974, the city did an agreement. I won't criticize because I wasn't there. This is for the air rights lease, so the city owns the property, but the state has the air rights to this site. Demolition is tentatively scheduled for spring of 2026, and that will then allow us to do what we've talked about for decades, which is actually add some width to downtown and redevelop Store Street. This is the new state hospital expansion that's going on. It's rising out of the ground now over on the Gallon Office Park campus. 41 beds. Anybody have a guess on how much it costs? 41 beds, $41 million. That's what it costs for a bed and for the hospital. So currently under construction. What I could do with $41 million. Speaking of that, this is Concord Group Insurance, and this is a property that the city has bought. This is where our new police station will be, headquarters. This is an early concept from the 2024 feasibility study. The 2024, the City Council voted unanimously to acquire the property at 4 Booton Street, and the current year budget appropriated the budget that we're in now, funding to weatherize the structure and funds to design the new station. Harriman has been awarded the design, which is underway and fully expected to be completed for design this fall. And subject to available funding, we may undertake interior demolition and identify unusual conditions which affect design and future appropriations. Construction is tentatively planned to begin in spring of 2026, depending upon funding, and would be complete in the summer of 2027. So hold on. Hopefully some of you are young enough to stay there. The website dedicated to the project has been added to the city's website under the police department. So if you're curious about where it is, go there, take a look, and we'll keep you up to date. And I'm getting to the end, don't worry. This number here, just a random number, but it's just some of the things that we're doing that now, again, reflecting of what the City Council is doing based on the community's values. So I'm going to go through some grant projects that we've received this past year and talk about how it relates to what the mayor talked about and some of the things that I've talked about. So the city was awarded a $1.14 million in municipal per unit grant funds for the Invest New Hampshire program. The city received these unrestricted funds due to the development of affordable housing units at Pennacook Landing and the rail yard. So it's, again, recognition from the state. The city received those funds. The city was awarded $25,000 in community development block grant funds on behalf of 603 Legal Aid, Disability Rights Center of New Hampshire, and New Hampshire Legal Assistance to conduct a feasibility study to explore the potential acquisition and development of joint facility for these entities. The city was awarded congestion mitigation air quality grant in the amount of $2,447,852 from the New Hampshire Department of Transportation from McKee Square intersection, so police and fire are directly aware of that intersection and all the accidents that occur there, trying to improve that. The city was awarded $35,000 in Invest New Hampshire interior demolition funds to support the development of a privately owned independent living facility for adults with developmental disabilities at 3 North State Street. The city was awarded $25,000 in community development block grant funds on behalf of families in transition to conduct a feasibility study to examine potential renovations of ground floor commercial spaces at 9 through 11 Oddfellows Ave and 5 Market Lane into housing to support low and moderate income folks. The city was awarded $500,000 Land and Water Conservation Fund grant to help with the construction of a new skateboard park at Kiwanis Park. The city was awarded $259,062 for Homeland Security grant program for the purchase of modular traffic barrier system to protect event goers that inhabit closed roadways against vehicle ramming incidents. But DOJ is on the warpath, so we'll see We'll see if that survives. City was awarded $5,000 emergency management performance grant funds for the purpose of updating the city's local emergency operations plan. Great job on both of those. John Chisholm did both of those. The fire chief. City was awarded $55,000 for the Stanton K-9 grant program for startup costs associated with the new law enforcement K-9 program at the police department, and that was probably Steve, but I'll give Brad the credit. Last week, the city was awarded $859,689 under the Housing Champion Program, municipal grant program for the pump station upgrade, sewer pump station. I mentioned that. And with that, we'd like to take questions.
Couple minutes, folks. Don't be shy.
Wow, we did a great job.
No. Gotta be something.
I'll throw something out.
Yeah, go ahead.
The fifth grade asked me if I'd ever traveled outside of New Hampshire, so, yes.
Why would you?
Why would I travel outside of Concord?
Property tax evaluation. That process. Tell me a little bit how that's going to unfold and when that's going to take place.
So that started in July of 2024. By August of 2026, remember, we're looking at roughly, okay, Tim's voice, 15,000 or so parcels to take a look at. It's a full measure and list that hasn't occurred in decades. So we'll be taking a look at all those properties, coming back to the city council with all that information, and then we'll be working with the state on this. And again, you're required to do this now really every 5 years. So this isn't something we decided, hey, let's
Wasn't our
undertake.
choice.
So August, so pay attention, August 2026.
Good morning, thank you, Mayor, thanks, Tom, appreciate the comment. I'd like to respond to the Mayor's comments about civility, and I want to thank you for saying that this morning. I think it's an awesome message that you send out, and I'm going to speak on behalf of the children of Concord School District. Adults are role models for our kids. What we do and how we behave has a huge influence on our kids. So I appreciate those comments because I think it affects the 4,000 youngsters that we serve every day in the Concord School District. So thank you for doing that this morning.
If there are no other questions, I want to thank our speakers this morning. Great job as usual. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you, Jim.
For being here and for Mr. Lawrence. Really appreciate it. Just a big shout out to our police officer and firefighter of the year. Gentlemen, thank you so much for all that you do. This has got to be the safest community in Concord. And last but not least, apologies to Councilor Stacy Brown and board member Patrick Tompkins, both of whom I overlooked or screwed up their names in my opening remarks, so I apologize to both of you for that. But thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.